This is Susan Lorincz, a woman who is every neighbor's worst nightmare. Every police officer who worked the area knew her by name. Lorincz filled her time by calling to complain about her neighbors, in particular, children who played along the sidewalk or the empty lot. Lorincz claimed that they were harassing her, but the neighborhood agreed that it was the other way around. Lorincz was constantly yelling at the children, throwing things at them, and in one instance tried to beat them with a broom. When her children told Ajike, A.J. Owens, some of the things that Lorincz had done, she understandably decided that it was time to confront the older woman. She knocked loudly on Lorinc's house, yelling for her to come out. After several minutes, Anna called a 911. Lorincz took her handgun and fired through the door.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I'm just sitting here because I was freezing.
Oh, it is chilly in here, isn't it? Susan?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Detective Stitt. This is Detective Peterson.
Okay.
Can we just get you to slide that chair back over here just a moment? I'm sorry to keep you waiting so long. We just had a lot, we had to sort through before we could come and talk to you. So again, I'm Detective Stitt. I'm an investigator here with the Sheriff's Office. Could you give me your, spell your name for me? Is it Susan?
Susan, S-U-S-A-N.
And do you have a middle name?
Louise, L-O-U-I-S-E.
And your last name?
Lorincz, L-O-R-I-N, C as in cat, Z as in zebra.
Thank you. And what's your date of birth, Susan?
7/23/64.
Okay. And your address? And you live in apartment
Yes.
number
Three.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So, do you know a reason why we're...
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So, did the deputies like put handcuffs on you or
Yes.
anything with it? Because there's a lot of things going on, and we're trying to sort through the moving pieces to try to figure out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, naturally, they want to secure
Understood.
the scene, and that under that circumstance, it meant to handcuff you. So we're working this investigation, and at this point, you're not free to leave. So I have to make you aware of your rights, okay, before we talk. So I have to read this to you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to execute these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of those rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
Okay. So the reason I'm trying to clarify all the events that happened tonight, and to try to, because really I only have, statements from people that were out there, and I would like to get your side of things and try to understand what exactly happened tonight, or last night now, I guess it is.
Good gravy. Basically, the neighbors were out there screaming, yelling. The kids were running back and forth. I had a miserable headache. Went inside, laid down. They finally got quiet. I came outside, and the 3 boys were there. I'm like, guys, you're trespassing. Come on, out of here. And he's like, I want this, and I want that, and fuck you, and fuck this. I'm like, oh, okay, little big kids, because they're all really young. And
So you say you came out and they were...
I wanted to check my truck. Every time I had my truck on one side, the kids would throw the balls and hit the truck.
Okay.
So I moved the truck to the other side, then they moved themselves to the other side, and they keep just,
Just
hands in the ass.
antagonizing you?
Oh, God,
Yeah.
horribly.
Lorinc's self-inflicted feud with the children was well known to the police, as well as the rest of the neighborhood.
Okay. I can tell you what I heard, too. Okay. The kids were playing outside earlier, right? In his yard. And yes, ma'am. And one of the little kids, he left his iPad on the ground. And I guess the old white lady that shot the lady, she grabbed his iPad and she threw a roller skate at him. And she came out with the umbrella too and was trying to swing at him or some shit like that. Okay. And then
is that what you heard or is that what you saw?
That's what I heard.
Okay, well, let's just focus on what you saw.
And the only thing I heard was her knocking on the door pretty loud, right?
Who
And
was
then
knocking on the door?
The lady that got shot, right?
She was knocking on the other lady's door.
Yeah, like to see what had went between the two kids, you know, like
Wait,
between her and the
did
kids.
you see anything, or
Nah,
you just
you
came
gotta
out?
talk to the
anything?
kids. You gotta talk to the kids. You gotta talk to the little kid and the older one.
Okay.
But all I heard was knocking and then a gunshot. That's it. There was no fighting, none of that.
But you didn't actually see anything?
No, sir.
No? Okay. All right. Thanks, my man. Truth and a lie?
Yeah.
What's the difference between a truth and a lie?
One's right and one's wrong.
Okay, so if I said that my uniform is the color blue, is that true or is that a lie?
It's a lie.
If I said that the sky is blue, is that truth or a lie?
It's truth.
Okay. When you tell me how like you start your day. Like when you wake up in the morning, what is your routine?
When I wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
I either take out my dogs or
Okay.
eat breakfast, or I go outside to see if anybody's outside so I can play with them.
Okay. What about? Okay, so you have like a morning routine that you have. All right. So tell me what you saw here tonight.
I didn't see much. We were playing around. I was on my electric scooter,
Okay.
and then my friend's mom got mad. My friend's mom got mad at the lady because she took something. I don't know.
Your friend's mom
Yeah,
is which one was your friend's mom?
my friend's mom was right there.
The one laying on the ground.
The one that was laying on the ground.
Okay, so that was your friend's mom. She got mad because the other lady had taken an iPad.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened
And
after
she
that?
gave it back.
The other lady gave it back.
Yes, and then my friend's mom, she came and banged on her door, her window.
Okay.
Slide door. That she banged on that, and then the door.
Okay.
And then I was on my electric scooter right here, and then I don't know where I hear a big bang.
Okay.
I was running.
Did you actually see anybody with any kind of gun, anything like that, or did you just hear?
I was here running.
Okay. What did you see after that?
I don't know. I came outside and I saw my friend's mom on the ground.
Okay.
Good job.
Alrighty.
And she is in custody.
Well, yeah, that I do know, but the only reason why I'm saying it is it's gonna be chaos, man. You know what I mean? It's everyone's pretty heat up.
I'm very familiar with this lady. I don't work this zone anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm very familiar with her. So I know the situation and what she has done and everything. But like I said, we're waiting on the major crime detective to get here so he can continue his investigation.
She been waiting and itching.
No,
That-
we have her.
That gray truck, her truck.
Well, she can't shoot out her window.
I said today when the bitch left, I said she had pressure, and when she came back,
She's
she was
always
gonna
had
have
pressure,
an attitude.
always.
Cause them kids, they wasn't even over there yet. Them kids was right here. And
Do
you
y'all not
know
remember
her
her calling the cops
movement.
multiple
All the
times?
When
time.
she
They got
moved,
reports. They
she
got
got
all the
that truck,
reports.
slammed that door, and took her ass on. Now, by the time I went in the house to grab a charger and come back out, I hear Isaac them and him right there at my house yelling. She done shot her and laying over here. She been waiting on the reason. I'm trying to tell you, that girl, she done got into it with their mama several times. Because she thinks she can talk to people, kids, any kind of way. And then before she shot him, she called him a nigga. So I guess that's, bro, get off out of here. Get off out of here.
She's not gonna get out of here.
That shit ain't right, bro. Yes, she will. Yes, she will.
She ain't gonna get out.
Yes, she will.
She didn't make it for real.
No, she ain't gonna get out.
That's some whole shit. That's some whole shit. You gonna throw a tablet at a kid, and then clearly when the mama come to confront you, that's what you, girl,
Like
get
a
the
grown
fuck
woman.
out of here.
That's what she was doing.
Girl, get the fuck out of here.
That lady don't never start problems with nobody. She always, if her kids
No,
have
she-
problems, she comes
Me and that
she talks to
woman,
everybody.
that woman and Lauren was just talking the weekend before last. She was saying, man, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. The woman, her neighbor, said she heard before all this transpired. She said, I heard her talking so disrespectful to those children. I didn't know what to do. No, not no Miss Nico, the little white lady who lived right there by her.
Because she has grandkids too, that lady.
She said the little Miss.
When did they call and say this? When did we just find this out?
I'm telling you, I seen her today. The kids was right here today playing. They weren't nowhere over there.
They were at the basketball.
They were at the basketball. Them kids was nowhere over there. So, little time passed. I went in the house, made my dinner, I came back out, and we called her Karen. I said, oh hell, the kids over there by Karen way. But they was not on her side where that trespassing sign said. They were over here by this building. I said, Karen gonna act an ass. Before they were even over there, she came out, she got in her truck, slammed her door, gunned the engine, and rolled her ass out of here.
The lady is nuts. She literally told my daughter and all the little girls that they were going to get raped for not listening.
She's batshit crazy. She's batshit crazy.
She thinks that all of this is hers. Like,
and the man who owns the property lives right there. So if that man ain't said nothing, who the hell are you to say something? So now we just take matters into our own hands and we just gun people down. That's what we do.
She's going away.
Okay, so when you said that you came outside and they were there, the three boys were there, where were they at?
Right in front of, that little cove that's
like
there.
The privacy fence?
They were right there.
Okay.
Right in front
Inside the privacy fence, like on your patio or
no,
outside?
they were just right outside.
Okay.
And I'm like, guys, come on, leave. Because I wanted to check the truck and everything. And then they were like, I'm going to tell my mom. I'm like, go tell your mom, I don't care, And
have you had problems with him before?
Oh my God, yes. And they've been harassing me last week. They came up they were actually in the vestibule, in the area. And they were like, wake up, wake up. I was watching TV. I'm like, really, seriously? Because, after a nice long shift, that's just when I want to hear these little run.
How long have you lived there?
3 years.
3 years? Okay. And how long have you been having problems with them?
Like 2 years.
2 years?
Yes, ever since she moved.
Is it just those same three, or do you have problems with any? Does anyone else give you problems?
They want to play on that part where Charles Owens and the other part. And I'm like, guys, come on.
Which part is that? I'm not sure. I don't know who Charles is.
Charles is the landlord. So there's, one of the cops came out and said, oh, it's an open lot. It's not an open lot. It's an abutment of 2 properties. I'm like, guys, come on, give me some peace, because in my apartment, there's sliding glass doors, and then I have the 2 bedrooms up front, and because it's an open concept, just you can hear everything.
The sounds travel right through.
It's horrible, and I'm like, go play on the other side. We don't want to play on the other side, I want to play over here. I'm like, oh, good gravy, and so they just, every time they see me, they get together and scream and yell.
They live in the same building?
No, none of them live there. I was going to say, one set of kids lives there, but the other sits on the other side. They go play on your side of the road, Come on.
Okay. So they were being obnoxious out there tonight, and they finally got quiet, but then you go outside and the 3 of them are out there?
Yeah, and I didn't want to go any further because he's like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, what in the world?
Who said that?
Ajike's kids.
Okay. So who is it?
Ajike, I think her name is.
Okay.
She actually had thrown a sign at me before. She picked up the no trespassing sign and just threw it at me. She's like, here, take your fucking sign. I'm like, it's not mine, it's Charles. He doesn't want you guys here. So it's just, she's been in my mailboxes. She sends the kids in the mailboxes.
When did she throw a sign at you?
I want to say last year, just after I had my neck fused. I'm like, oh, good gravy.
What kind of sign? Like one of the ones you buy at the store, like a plastic, like on the fence?
It was a metal sign with a little metal, like a real estate sign. But it had no trespassing, so it was about that by that. And
Is it the same one that was out there tonight, or is it different? Okay.
They stole that sign.
So what happened tonight that led to the conclusion that...
Well, I'm like, kids, go home. So they go home, and then all of a sudden she comes out, and she is just banging on my door. I'm like, go away. I'm not dealing with you tonight. And then she started banging so hard, everything started shaking. And I'm like, you really need to leave. And then I'm gonna fucking kill you, and she's just banging away. You know, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, you know, and since she has actually harmed me, I'm like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. I'm like, I don't know what to do with her. And she banged so hard, it looked like my door was gonna fly off, and I panicked. And I was like, oh my God, she's really gonna kill me this time, you know? And so, I don't even actually remember picking up the gun, I just remember shooting.
Where do you keep the gun usually?
It's in my bedroom.
That's
So,
where you keep
yeah,
it? Like
keep
in
it in
a...
bedroom.
In a cabinet or something, or just like...
It's just, I actually keep it in the trash can.
Okay.
Next to the bed.
I know nobody would look in there probably, right?
You know, and I didn't think about it, and I'm like, oh my God, and I just started panicking, and I really feared for my life. I mean, honest to God, I was like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm a nervous wreck. You know, I'm not supposed to be getting nervous or anything like this because I have an aneurysm on my left kidney artery. And so they're like, just, you're supposed to stay calm, you're not supposed to do anything, and this woman just keeps antagonizing me, she's got the kids calling me. I go on, they're like, hey Karen, I'm like, I have a doctoral degree. Do not talk to me like I am one of your peers.
So they don't really have any respect
No respect.
So AJ, she came to your door?
Oh yeah.
And she was
pounding on it. I was like, what the hell? My cats went flinging.
What was she saying? Was she saying anything?
You don't talk to my sons. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, you know. And I was like in tears. I'm like shaking, and I'm like, oh my God. And I thought she had gone away, and then she starts banging again. I'm like, oh shit.
Did she like try to come inside?
She was trying as hard as she could.
What do you mean?
That door was moving. And I'm like, holy shit. You know,
like, did she try the door handle, or was she just beating on it to try to push it in, or what?
She was just, you know, just trying to push it in, and I was like, oh my God.
You're just letting you know it's back. Side.
Okay. So what was she saying again?
She's like, you can't talk to my sons that way. You know, I'm like, you're trespassing, you know.
So you were communicating with her through the door?
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, just leave. You know, I don't want to hear it. Now I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you. And I didn't think too much of it until she really started pounding that door. And I'm like, oh my God. Then I got scared, like terrified scared.
Now you had initially called,
because
did you call 911 or
yeah,
did you use the non-emergency number when you called?
When the first time, because the kids said, I'm going to kill you, and my friends kill you, I'm like, oh my God, you know, what the hell's going on now?
This was the initial call made by Lorincz, which mostly consisted of her usual complaints.
911, what is the address?
You know, I'm like, I don't need this aggravation.
Okay. So you called, was it 911?
Yeah, I called 911.
Okay. And that was before AJ came over?
Before
Okay.
she came over.
And the kid, okay, so we get like, as the deputies are responding, the call taker's talking to you, they're putting information that you're telling them into the computer, which goes to us as we're going out there. So in that call notes, there's never any mention of you saying that they said that they're gonna kill you. It was more or less that they're harassing you, that
Oh no, I told the lady that they said they were gonna kill me.
Okay.
No, I was very specific when I spoke.
Okay. Now, did you see who was out there at that time?
I just knew it was Ajike by her voice, because she's screamed at me before, you know, and I'm like, oh great, it's her again, you know. And I just, like I said, I just panicked, and I just got so frightened. I was like, oh my God, she's really gonna do it this time. She's gonna kill me.
Were you still on the phone with 911 when you fired the gun?
No. I thought that the kids went, and I was like, all right, I'll go check my truck in the morning. I didn't even leave, you know, I just went back in the house and locked the doors.
So, but you had already contacted 911.
Yeah.
Did they advise you that someone was responding?
Yes,
an officer was responding?
They said someone's coming out, and they said lock the doors, you know, make sure you don't go outside. I'm like, okay, you know, usual.
Okay. And where were you at when she was pounding on the door? Were you?
I was actually in the bathroom.
You were in the bathroom. I haven't been inside, so how does it, like when you go in through the front door?
It's all open.
Okay.
So you can see kind of the bathroom right from the front door.
Okay.
So.
And you were still able to hear her?
Oh,
she was
my
able
God,
to hear
yes.
you, that you know, as far as you know?
I don't know if she was able to hear me. I mean, she was just screaming for all she was worth. And I'm like, stop, 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 you know, and just, she wouldn't stop. And I was just like, oh dear God.
What else was she saying besides what you've told me? Was she saying anything else?
She was just, some of it was unintelligible.
Okay.
So she was just ranting.
So I noticed there's, you have a couple cameras in the house?
Yes.
Okay. And are those like Ring cameras or Arlo
They're
or?
Bling.
Blink?
Blink.
Okay.
Then I have the one at the door. But when it gets dark out, they don't pick up anything, which sucks.
Do they record sound though, or
I
like,
have no
is it
idea.
all motion where it only records when it captures motion?
Yeah, when it captures motion.
Okay. But those are working cameras?
I don't know if the door bell picked anything up. You can look at it and stuff.
Is that through your phone that you were able to review that, or computer, or how do you? Through your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I don't think it picked it up because I didn't get a ding.
Okay. So, but prior to her coming over there and banging on your door, because we talked to a lot of people that were out there at the time, and there was some statements given to us that you had taken a tablet or picked up a tablet that was on the ground?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
That child, like the other day, he said to me, "I'm going to go tell my mom that you called me a slave." I'm like, what? He came over with a rake and he was pounding everything with the rake. I'm like, really? Seriously? So I don't know what's going on with that child.
Mm-hmm.
There were several witnesses to Lorincz throwing different objects at the children, which would be enough to anger any mother. When her sons told her how Lorincz had insulted them, she decided that it was time to have a confrontation. I recently released another exclusive Patreon video exposing a chilling incident where a man unleashed his rage by committing a shocking act of violence against an innocent 15-year-old. This heart-wrenching video shows interrogation of Cody, the man behind this horrible crime. Watch the full video and more at patreon.com/strangerstoriesplus.
And which child is that you're talking about?
It's on the video. If you give me my phone, I'll show you which child it is. I don't know by names.
Is it one of the older ones?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the deal with the roller skate? Because again, we talked to a lot of people who were outside and kind of witnessed some of this.
They keep leaving all their toys around. The other day, I almost killed myself going out. I had an early morning doctor's appointment, and I didn't see the roller skate, and I almost killed myself. And I'm like, guys, stop already. This is not your garbage yard.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's got his roller skates there, and I'm like, really, take your roller skates. And I threw the roller skates. I'm like, go fetch them. Just enough. Because
did you throw that at them?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
No, I just.
And what is the thing about the umbrella? You had an umbrella?
I thought it was raining before, and I walked out and it wasn't raining. I'm like, okay. So.
Okay. And you swung it at them or one of them?
I wasn't even close. I was still inside the vestibule. So.
How can we explain that then with people saying, like multiple people that weren't talking to each other, that if they were saying that that's what they saw?
I don't know. Maybe I did step out and I'm like, guys, go away, but I would never touch them.
Okay. Maybe swat at them with it, but not.
Exactly.
Okay.
If I did it was probably because I was just so, come on.
Okay. But I know at least say if you did, but is that what happened? I mean, we got to kind of get specific about this because it's a big deal.
I understand.
Someone's dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that's why I say it's important to be specific and honest about everything. Okay. And I know from what it sounds like, I talked to several people out there, and it seems like this has been an ongoing thing where the harassment continues and just being obnoxious and don't have respect for their neighbors and just doing whatever they want, and it builds and it builds and it builds until you can't take it anymore. And unfortunately, it's led to this event.
It was only because she was pounding at my door, and I, honest to God, thought she was gonna come in.
Okay. So we have, over in our communication center, they're putting together, because all the calls that come into 911 are audio recorded, and there were several people even before. So there's open lines, we're recording and getting audio of exactly what's being said, not to mention if your camera has captured anything, okay? So that's why I'm like asking you before we go through that, and if something is different than what you're telling me, we need to clear that up now, because if it, you know what I mean, if the evidence shows something different than what you're saying, it doesn't look good, and I want to be open and honest with you.
I just know that she was pounding and pounding on the door and scaring the shit out of me.
Okay.
You know?
But is there any reason why, if we reviewed that evidence, she wasn't saying, I'm going to kill you?
That's what I heard.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I honest to God heard. You know, it's just what I heard.
Okay. Did you ever look out the door to see? And I know you said you kind of recognized her voice. So.
I never looked out the door.
Okay.
I was afraid to get to my door, to be brutally honest. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna bust it in and just gonna...
Where were you standing when you shot the gun? And you said you shot the gun
oh, yeah,
through the door?
Yeah, through the
okay.
door. I just panicked. It was probably by the kitchen table somewhere.
Okay, by the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times did you shoot the gun?
Once.
Just once?
Lorincz fired once through the door, striking Owens in the chest.
17, 19, 20,
here,
21.
move. She's got a pulse. Move. She does. Here,
yeah,
she's got a pulse. Where's the gunshot wound?
Right here.
What did she shoot her with?
Here.
It's probably like a 22 or something.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
She says she has
No
a pulse.
exit, no exit, yes.
She's got pulse.
Very
She said
faint,
she's got
very
pulse.
faint, very faint. There's no exit.
Bro, we've been planning to do this for the longest time, bro. Cops on this fucking woman for fucking ever.
Oh my God. Hold the flashlight.
I got it. Where's she shot at?
Right
here.
Right here.
Chest. Right here. Right side of chest. Okay. There's no exit.
Who over there was here?
I don't see a lot of blood. Yeah, I don't see the blood either. It's probably like a 22 or something.
I got her, baby. Get my phone. Legend, get my phone.
Can you make sure her kids aren't in my medical bag?
They're in my house.
All right. That's the mother right there. That's her mother right there. Hey, boss man, keep the light over here.
Yeah, I know you're upset. Focus on CPR, man. Let me do the rest. Work together. Murder, not harder.
She's the neighbor.
Oh my God.
Can you fucking imagine if this was our kids? No, Virgil. She's nothing.
Boss man, take a few steps back. Just keep the light right here.
If you need to switch out, let somebody know.
Got you.
Alright, hold on. Let me cut so I can see where her wounds are.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
alright, bye.
Kids are saying that they only heard one shot.
She's not the single. Okay. Good.
I knew it. I knew when I seen them over here playing today. I said she was gonna act an ass.
We always
bro.
call the cops on this woman. They won't
knew
do
it
nothing
when
about
I
her.
seen the kids playing, bro. I knew it.
You guys are positive there was no exit wound?
No, I checked it. I didn't see
Shine your light in
anything.
the bag for me.
Here. Let me roll her over. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, jerk her back.
No.
Any exit?
No exit.
Oh girl, drive a great truck.
Bro, this is fucking crazy.
Alright.
Oh girl, drive a great truck. They got it right down. Man, come on now, bro. For some kids, boy. For kids,
And you said there's no exit?
No, I didn't see one unless it's in another spot.
Damn, and the kids was over there. They wasn't even open here. Been sitting right there watching them all day.
You hold this flashlight. I'm gonna scan her legs
Yeah.
real quick.
Oh my God.
Oh my fucking God.
Oh.
Here.
advise if there's anybody else in that house.
I have no idea. Come on, boo, stay with it.
Hey, can you guys show medics where we're at so they don't get confused?
Right here.
Over here.
Today has been a very bad day. There's something bad that's happened. And y'all seen it, y'all understand it, y'all experienced it, right? Okay. Y'all love me? Okay. Y'all love mom? Alright. Well, I got some bad news to tell you. Mom is not coming back anymore. Come. No. Come here. Come over here. Listen to me. No, I know. Okay. It's okay. I know. It's okay. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I am sorry. I'm so sorry.
He can't go.
Yes, he's gone. It's alright. You guys are gonna be okay. It's alright. You guys are alright.
What kind of gun is it?
It's a Remington 380.
Is that the only firearm you have in the house?
No, there was a 22 Ruger.
Where's that one
I don't know. I don't know if I picked it up or not. I have no idea. Maybe the garbage can.
at? Okay. And after you fired the round, what did you do?
She said, ow, and I'm like, oh my God, I hit her. It just, clicked, I hit her. I was like, Jesus Christ. And I thought I just, nicked something. I never ever.
And what did you go out there?
No.
You didn't go out there?
No.
Did you call 911 back?
Yes, I did call 911.
Okay. And what did you say?
And I said, she was pounding on my door and I shot my gun. I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
Okay.
And she was threatening me and she was saying, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. So.
Okay. So it's a Remington 380.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a revolver or
No,
a semi-automatic?
It's a pistol. I don't know if it's semi-automatic.
What color is the Remington?
Black.
Black. And that's your firearm?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, we're trying to get to. There's always two sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when there's the truth is somewhere usually lying in the middle somewhere. And I'm not trying to discredit what you're telling me, and I understand your concerns about, this is your area. You want to be able relaxed and not have to worry about all this
Riprap.
basically, yeah. But unfortunately, we can't get the other side from Ajike,
Ajike, I think her name is. It's Ajike.
Right. But we can't ask her side, right? So then we have to go by other people who may have seen or heard things, videos, 911 call recordings and things like that. And again, I have no doubt that they harass you and give you problems all the time. But again, when we review all the evidence, if it's going against what you're saying, and I know you say you heard this, but up front you said that's what she said. But I mean, that it's very important to be detailed and specific and honest, because again, if the evidence doesn't match up with what you're saying, then when we take this and show this to a prosecutor who ultimately makes decisions about whether this was a justified event or not, if you're not being completely honest now, it doesn't look good, you know what I mean?
I'm just telling you what I know.
So, is it feasible to say that this is just got to a boiling point for you that you couldn't take it anymore, And because
No,
again, if
this
if
was
listen, if
absolutely
this stuff
terrible.
happened in the past,
Mhm.
I get it, but we're talking about a specific event tonight where she didn't make it a point that she was trying to come in. She was trying to get your attention to say, apparently, to stop throwing things at her kids. Whether you actually, I know, listen, kids can lie. I get it. And I'm just saying, whether that actually happened or not, that's what she believed, because that's what she was told by her one of her sons. So she was coming over there to. I mean, does that ring a bell of her telling you not to be throwing things? No. What
Not that I-
specific words do you recall that she said?
I just
that you-
remember her saying, "Don't talk to my sons that way, and I'm gonna fucking kill you." I mean, that's what I heard. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And you're sure when you were on the phone with 911 you told them that she said that?
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I mean, if someone was, the reason why I ask is because, like, if someone, let's say I'm not a police officer, or, you know, right, and I'm just at my house and someone's, like, beating on my door saying, I'm going to kill you or I'm going to fucking kill you, oh my God. They're banging on my door. They're saying they're going to kill me. Like, that's a very fear-provoking statement when you know, if you're in a legitimate fear that someone's going to come through your door and kill you, if you're already on the phone.
I wasn't on the phone, though. I was in the bathroom when she started.
You weren't on the phone with 911?
No, I was already off the phone with 911.
Okay, so she had already maybe made that statement before you even called.
Oh, the second time?
Anytime.
I was going to say the second time, when I called, she had already said it.
Okay.
So.
But the second time you called was after you had fired the
Yes.
gun? Okay. So.
And maybe I misunderstood it, because what my understanding was before I had to walk out of the room was that when she was knocking on your door.
It wasn't a knock.
The way,
Sorry.
I understand, you said that it got worse. Like so I'm starting off with
No,
and then we're gonna get harder.
She started off banging on that door. I mean, it was,
But during that initial time is when you had said before that she had made the statement that, you know, she was going to kill you.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
No, it's important that we learn the details, so that way as we gather and collect evidence, the details are what help us piece that together so we can see the big picture, right? I'll tell you that even as law enforcement officers, if we make a decision to, you know, use deadly force against someone, we have to sit and explain the same way with details. I did this because of this, making me feel like this, right? And an investigator from the state listens to us the same way we're listening to you, and they present that to a prosecutor the same way that we would, right? So we're just trying to understand the details of what happened from your point of view, so as we gather our evidence, we can...
Understood.
Does anyone else live with you, Susan?
No.
Okay. How long have you owned your firearm, or firearms, or any firearm really?
Trying to think, I bought the Remington maybe a year ago.
Okay. And was it just for personal, like protection,
Yes,
personal
it was,
protection?
yeah,
Do you carry it with you if
No.
you go out, just for home?
Only if I take it to the range.
Okay. Do you do that often, or how often do you think that you've shot at the range?
Probably 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
I used to be terrified of firearms. And then when the first time she threw the things at me and she was just so horrible to me, I'm like, I had just had neck surgery and I'm like, she could have really killed me, you know? And I just was like, oh dear God. She was just violent.
So, your door is kind of like, probably not wood or whatever, but you can't really see through it. There's no windows or anything like that. And I know your sliding door is a little further over, but something that he mentioned, you know, as far as our training, when we have to go through making a judgment decision where we might have to pull the trigger, we have to know what we're firing at is a deadly threat, or what we recognize as a deadly threat. So my question is, how do you know what you're firing at when you're firing through a door that you can't see through, when you don't know if there's also a child outside standing there? Or, I mean, basically I'm asking you, what were you aiming at and what were you intending to do when you fired that gun?
I was just fearful of my life, and I was just like, go away, go away. That's all I could think of, is just get out of the situation, just go away already. And
But when you fire through a door that's closed, was it locked?
yes, it was locked.
Okay. And, you said you're in the bathroom, which I understand you said it's kind of an open floor concept in there. So it's kind of open, but I'm assuming there's walls around the bathroom, you've got a door, you can close it. And I'm not saying that, I mean, you're within your right, you're in your house, you don't have to do that. But if I'm looking at a door that's secured and whether someone's banging on it or not, law enforcement's already on the way. At what point do you,
The door is broken.
the door's broken?
At that whole side panel, people have, she's pounded on it more than once, and he fixed it, but when everything started rattling so much, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna bust through it.
Lawrence's landlord testified that he had made repairs, but that there was a large crack and he intended to replace the door.
Okay.
So it's broken right now, or it was broken before and then the landlord fixed it?
He didn't cherry-rigged it. He put screws through it so that the centerpiece was supposed to stay in there, but she was pounding it so hard. I mean, everything was just rattling, and I'm like, oh my God, it sounded like a horse kick. It was so loud.
One thing that I think my partner was trying to get at, and I don't know that I actually heard an answer to the question. When you're inside the house and she's on the other side of a door that you can't see through and she's pounding on the door, you make the conscious decision to aim your gun at the door and fire one round, right? Just one round?
Yes.
Fire one round. Were you trying to hit her, or were you trying to scare her off? Were you trying to make a loud noise to say like, hey, I got a fucking gun, get away from my door? Or were you
I was never intending to hit her. I just thought, I thought I hit really high, I was just like, kind of, it's the first time I ever really used it, where I was, like...
Not on a paper target.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God. So I was shaking. I mean, I was just so distraught at that point in time. I'm like, oh my God, she's really going to freaking come to my house. And I was just like, all I could think is go away, go away, go away, go away.
Did you were you aiming for the door?
I just fired the gun. Because all I could think of is, I felt like I was in mortal danger. I mean, it's just how I felt.
And what made you, I mean, I know someone's banging on the door, you feel like they could get in, but at that point where nobody had breached or been able to get through that secure door, what made you feel like that was the time that you needed to do that?
I usually have a chair propped up against the door at night.
Okay.
And I didn't have the chair up there, and I didn't have the chain on the door either. So just the one lock was locked. And I'm like, oh shit, of all the times that I never...
But before you decided to pull that trigger, you didn't think to try to put
I wasn't going near the door, because she was actually physically moving the door. Like you could see the door moving. I'm like, oh dear God.
So the thing is, and again, I can 100% sympathize with being fed up with that kind of harassment and that kind of disrespect. But also someone lost their life last night, right? And she has children, and as much of a pain in the butt that they can be, they're not going to have a mother now. Okay?
I understand that, and that makes me sick.
And that is, as a parent, I think is like the ultimate reason that we need complete honesty. And I think what really your intentions were maybe not to kill her, but I think you would just reach that level that we've all gotten to, where we can really make a bad decision, where it builds up over time and you can't take it anymore. And I think that you shot at her because you were fed up and you were over it.
No.
Is that?
No.
No?
I absolutely feared for my life.
So this is
This was an absolute, it's either me or her. I mean, it's just like, I'm like, holy shit.
But did you see her with a gun or another weapon or anything like that?
But I don't know what she had on the outside. You know, when my lights were off, you know, so she came up, it was dark out. And I'm like, great, now she's pounding on my door. Now she's scaring the crap out of me. You know, now my door's moving and I didn't have it properly secured. And the next thing I thought she was gonna be in my house, you know, killing me. I mean, that's honest to God what I felt. You know, it's not like, you know, I'm fed up or anything. This was a real fear.
But when we first started talking, you said you made it very clear to the 911 call taker that she was threatening to kill you.
Yes, absolutely.
And if that's not on the recording, is there any reason why that's not on the recording?
I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I said it. So.
Are you just pretty sure she said it as well? That she
Oh
was
no,
gonna-
absolutely, she said it.
Okay.
She was absolutely, you know.
So the way that I see it is kind of like this. You have two things that you are looking at when you're in your position. You have this fear, this imminent fear of great bodily harm, death, serious injury, right? Imminent fear. Or you have, I'm in my apartment, I'm scared as shit, and I'm trying to scare someone off. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you understand what the difference between those are?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand, do you have this imminent fear that you're about to die? Or do you have this, I'm afraid of what's going to happen if this person doesn't go away? Does that make sense?
No, I felt like I was in imminent danger.
Okay. How would you define imminent danger? I just want to make sure that you because that's what the actual
imminent
law.
danger, let's say someone coming at you with a nice 4-ton truck, you know, straight at you, and, you know, they're swerving with you when you're trying to run away.
Okay. So, someone coming at you and you're this close to danger. Okay.
Now, the first time that you called 911 tonight or last night, at what point did you disconnect from the call? You called about basically the kids were in your area and you didn't want them there.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you disconnect with them?
They hung up with me. They said, someone's on the way, just keep your doors and windows locked. And I said, okay.
But Ajike wasn't there at that point?
No, she was not.
Okay. How long after you disconnected with them did she come over there, do you think?
I honestly thought it was you guys, someone banging on the door like that, because it felt, you know, like really heavy bang bang, you know, a guy doing it, and I was like, okay, you know, because it kind of shocked me, like, what the hell? And then she started screaming, and then, you know, it was just weird because I just thought she is just so angry, you know, and she's just ranting and pounding, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, from the information I got, she was angry and pounding because she believed that you had either struck or attempted to strike one of her kids with an umbrella and threw roller skates.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, again, I know how kids can be. They're not always very truthful about things. But I didn't have any information provided me out there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we're still going through evidence, and you know, that's an ongoing thing. But nothing that says that she threatened to kill you or that was doing anything more than trying to get you to come to the door. That she wanted you to open the door.
Why would I open my door to this woman? When she has
I wouldn't either. I
when
get
she
it.
has thrown things at me, when
Right.
she has followed me a foot behind me, I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
I mean, she's literally come up, we had words about 2 months ago, and I walked away, I said, all right, whatever. And, you know, I said, I'm sorry, you know, just because I wanted to diffuse it, you know, de-escalate everything. I'm walking away, and she's literally walking 1 foot behind me like she was, you know, I thought, oh my God, she's going to pound me into the ground.
So, yeah, I mean, that's my question, though, is if she wasn't trying to come in, she's just trying to get, I'm not, and again, I wouldn't come to the door either. If you're beating on my door, wanting to cause something, I'm not answering it. But that's different than trying to bust the door down.
To me, she was
And
trying
you
to
said that
bust
the
the
door's
door.
already broken, so
Yes.
how hard would it have been for her, because she's kind of a big girl, right?
Mhm.
How hard would it have been for her to break that door knowing your home? You know your door better than I do, but
Mhm.
if it's already,
Well, we did put the extra long deadbolt in and everything. I did have the deadbolt on, so I didn't know how long the door was gonna
see,
hold up.
and that's why I'm asking is
So-
because at first it's broken and now it's super secure with an extra long deadbolt.
No, I'm just
and that's
saying that we did put but if you look at it, everything's crumbling. I mean, if you look at the door, things are crumbling. I'm like, oh my God, you know, my landlord is 76 years old, and he jerry-rigged it. Literally jerry-rigged it. And I'm like, oh my God, so it's not, I don't feel secure. Every night, I stick a chair under that door to keep, you know, because I feel like someone's gonna break it in.
When did you install the new deadbolt, or did he did that? Someone else did it?
Yeah, Charles did it.
Okay. How long ago was that?
He just, I'm trying to think when the hell he did it, a few months ago.
And what was the reason for that?
She had pounded on the door once before, and kind of everything that he had fixed previously, she had cracked apart. And I'm like, oh God. Like I said, it's not the first time.
What did she pound on the door for last time? What happened with that?
I think I called her kid an idiot or something like that. And like, you see the signs, stop coming over here. And he's like, I can do anything I want. I could just go in. And I'm like, oh my God. You know, it's just.
And what did she do that time? She beat on the door?
And she beat on the door and like, go away.
Did you call the police then?
I believe I called the police, and this when, you know, she heard me calling the police, then she went away.
She went away. What was she trying to get you? Was she that
I
time?
have no idea. I have no idea what this woman is thinking. I mean, to me, she's just terrifying at this point in time. You know, I just thought she is not mentally stable, and, you know, every time something happens, oh, it's my children, you know, they're 100% little angels, and of course, you know, you're demonized. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
But was she trying to get in that time? Or was she just beating on the door and ranting and raving about you calling her son an idiot?
I think she was ranting and raving about me calling him an idiot.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, go away, you bother me.
Okay.
But at that point in time, I had all the locks on, I had the chair up, you know, like.
Did you get your gun that time?
No. I didn't feel, she wasn't as forceful that time as, you know, this time was, you know, like, oh my God.
And do you think the reason was because she believed that you threw something at her kids?
I don't know
or...
what, I have no idea what she was thinking.
Okay.
I can't even speculate. You know, all I know is she's like, you know, you screamed at my kids, or you know, you said something to them, and then she's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, fine.
And if your camera does work, do you you're confident that any video would back you up, or and the reason I'm asking that is because this is the time, if there's any discrepancies, to clear that up now, and I'm just trying to be
I don't even know if
forthright
we're
with you
engaged.
on that. What's that?
I don't even know if we're engaged, because the last time she was there at night, I tried to play and nothing came up, so.
Okay. Did you ever know her to carry a weapon or anything?
I do. But you can't tell who.
No, you never know. That's
I was
right.
gonna say,
We have kids out here running around with firearms and stuff. So, but I guess my question is, what is it that she did that made that an immediate threat to your life that you had to shoot when you did, or you were gonna be harmed at that
I
second?
thought she was coming right through that damn door. I mean, this guy was my witness. I thought that woman was coming through.
What made you think that she was coming?
Because everything was shaking. I mean, my mirror that was on the wall was shaking. I'm like, how do you shake a cement block house? I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. That's why I thought, you know.
So she was just beating like.
Oh, she was wild with it. I mean, she was bam, bam.
What is your door made out of? Is it like a metal or like a? I'm not sure.
I have no idea. And it just was like, well, dear God, you know, I thought I was going to get my, you know.
How long do you think she was hitting the door?
No, I can't even speculate, because it could have been seconds, it could have been, you know, when you get that fear response and, you know, she banged on it, I was in the bathroom, came out of the bathroom, and she was still banging on it. So I don't know, maybe a minute or two.
Okay. And you didn't try to call 911 back at that point?
My phone wasn't there. I didn't know where I put my phone.
You don't remember where you put your phone?
And I was like, crap, I can't find my phone.
Okay. So you have an app on your phone that lets you review the video?
Yes.
For your surveillance camera? Would you be willing to be able to let us look at that?
I don't have a phone.
Well, no, we have it in the
All right.
office
Okay.
over here, but
Yeah, got it.
let me see what condition the battery's in, and I'll be back in just a moment, okay? Thank you.
Lawrence's landlord testified that he had made repairs, but that there was a large crack and he intended to replace the door. Perhaps unsurprisingly, there was no video evidence to support Lawrence's claims. Susan Lorincz was found guilty of first-degree felony manslaughter with a firearm. She faces up to 30 years in prison. If you enjoyed this video and want to support me further, there's a Patreon link in the description where you can do just that. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.